Ready. I originally said that we were going to do something with this, so let's do something with this. Let's go to our... I kind of rushed through the last one because I wanted to get this done, but we're going to put in edit, and now we'll save that. I just don't want that to look the way it does. We can style it later. All right, anyway, so at this point, what we've done is we've been able to insert or create this through Ajax. And again, it's nothing really spectacular, but we'll go into far more intricate uses than this. This is just to get you acclimated with it. Let's continue to make this into something. So as we've done before, we want to be able to see what's going on with this table. We don't want to just assume that everything went to the back end. We want to see it. And we've done this previously, as I've mentioned. Show send equals blank. Then we will go get send equals con select all from async, and we'll order by created ascending, which it'll do anyway. I mean, you don't need to put that in there. Hit send, execute, and then we're going to turn that make send, get send, fetch all, and then we'll go for each, make send as ms, mk, don't want to insult anybody, you never know, show send, that probably insulted more people than just leaving it as was. I'm going to do do I have to? Yeah, I gotta do for each. TR. And let's close these out. Make sure we close them out. And then for now, we'll just put a nameplate of edit and then delete, and we'll get into those. And within here, we're going to put, we'll concatenate and put MK, Mortal Kombat, body, and we will put concatenate MK number. Now the body should get more room, but you know, we'll let the computer for now figure it out. As I've said, we can just style it later. But we'll do this, and at that point we will echo show send. Okay. And that's not in the table. Why is it in the table? Should be in the table. Wait, do I have to? That's completely outside the table. I don't know, you know why? Because I didn't do table data, my fault. My fault. You can't just do TRs. Table data. As I've said, we could have done a grid. I mean, we only have, then again, grids get kind of wacky after. Okay, and there we have it. We have it in there. Now, again, we can do something with this. I mean, we don't need it to stay this way, but we'll worry about that later. So we have this, right? But if I were to create something here, whoa, I'm going nuts with these entries, man. and I were to go like 3, it doesn't do anything, even though it uploads here. And the main reason is because, despite the fact we would have to refresh it, but again, refreshing it is kind of defeating the purpose. But the reason is because you are asynchronously sending this data. Like if there was a page that I can show you where it would give you the insert, you would see the insert happening as we press this button as opposed to having to refresh and do it. But we're not seeing it here. See, the key to Ajax is you want to be able to echo out using JavaScript what's already in there or what's been put in there. So then you can see it happening in real time as opposed to having to refresh. The way that we do that is something, if you've seen my previous videos and my not tutorials, but my projects using frameworks, the way that we can do that is the main reason why I use this split. Now, aside from the errors, of course. Now, what we do back here is we're going to make another one called send results, and we're going to equal that to a blank. And if this executes correctly, we're then going to fetch async, which would equal just a regular statement. Select all from async, order by created ascending, I said, right? Which, again, like I said, it does that anyway. You don't need to put that in there. I'm just showing it to you. And then, of course, we will fetch async execute, and we will then, now this is one way you can do it. I'm going to show you, I'm going to dictate to you another way. But this is the way that I'm going to show you, and then we're going to go grab fet async. So it kind of relates. We're going to say equals fetch all, like we've done here, right? Like we've done here. We're going to do the same thing, and then we're going to go for each. We're going to just do the same thing. Now I want you to sort of see this because your mind should sort of trigger out a function. The only thing with the function is that it's going to have the same amount of parameters, more or less. We'll get into that later. But PHP is going to take us a while because there are just so many different little things we can do with it. So we're going to say same thing that we did. It was called send results. And we're going to do the same thing that we've done, tr, let's close that out. Td, the same thing that we just did, we're going to do again. GA, body. GA number. And then to make sure that it looks identical to what we just did, put those in there. All right. And then we're going to echo out no error, tilde, and then concatenate that. So what we've done is we've done exactly what we do here to display what's already in there. We're going to send it again to the JavaScript. And with the JavaScript, we're going to tell it that if it says no error, then we're going to clear out these two, and we're going to add to this table. We're gonna just kind of redo this table with what we just sent. Now the only thing is we have to be able to tell it which table it is. Like we're gonna have to be able to tell the JavaScript to put it in here. So the best way that we can do that, we've got to put like some kind of, let me just put a div here for a sec. We'll go div ID equals table body. And this is one of the reasons why people don't really use tables anymore. It's kind of clunky. I don't really think this is going to make any difference, but let's just double check. Yeah, it doesn't make any difference. But, so now that we put that in there, now we're going to say document get element by ID, table body, and we're going to say inner HTML equals send info 1. Send info 1 is the index of the array that we're creating here after separating it with the tilde. Now it is just a string. Doesn't matter how long the string is. It is just going to be seen as a string. And in that way, it is going to replace this asynchronously with whatever we're sending out from here. Okay? So if everything works out the way we want it, let me just make sure. Okay. If everything works out the way we want it, if this works, this shouldn't refresh and should show up. But let me just see. It didn't put it where I wanted to, so let's just see. You know why? Is that we can't use this div. Okay, we got to come up with something else. I can't use table. Can I use? If I were to, you see, like if I were to use just a table, I probably should just make a grid. I mean, the reason why I did a table was to separate it, well, but yeah, let's get rid of the table. Let's just do, let's get rid of this, and let's just go like this. Let's just go with this. Because if we don't do the, and then we'll just put this in the div. Equals entry listing. Let's change this up. The only problem with this is I gotta get rid of all this crap. Okay, hold on. And then we'll put this in a div and we'll call it class equals entry heading. And then we'll go like this. H3. We can make our own table. This isn't a problem. It'll take some. It'll take some work, but some styling work, but we'll be okay. So I just want you to take a look at how it can. Now that's one way. Again, you don't have to do it that way. And this is fine. And right, table body. I'm going to get rid of this table row. And then this will just be, this could be a div. And I guess we can make these spans maybe. And we'll figure out classing them and everything later. But I just want to show you div, this way it separates everyone. Now let's take a look at what we got. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we have this. I mean, it looks like crap, but we're going to work on it. And then we're going to go back here, and we're going to have to change this to a div, and this to h. Now we'll do span. Spans don't really do anything until you tell them to. And they can really only move like however amount of digital space you can come up with. I have a hard time with spans. I would only use spans if I just wanted to move things a little bit over to the left or right myself. That's up to you. Okay, so this should then replace everything in here. Table body, table body. That should replace everything in there. So now if I were to do this, and then I were to send another one, it's going to be kind of hard to see, but if you look, you see another one just pops up right there. Another one. Again, look here first. Nothing changed, right? Like this just popped up in another one. This never refreshed. So this is what you do with asynchronous JavaScript in PHP. This is what the JavaScript does. It takes information from the back and in real time pops up in the front based on what you're telling it to do. Now, again, this is one way that you can do it. The reason why I like doing things this way is because I like to just, I like to sort of see the actual table as opposed to seeing another way of doing it, which is manipulating the JavaScript. I don't like JavaScript, so I don't like the way JavaScript does things. But another way that you could do that is you can just say, if it says no error, just keep it as no error, and from there, take whatever you put into it, the body and the number, and just kind of add it to the bottom here. Like just, you could do the inner HTML, and you can get the inner HTML, but you could say like var table body equals document get element by ID table body inner HTML. You could turn that into a variable, and then you could just get either what you created back here, like as one line, or just style it here and have it add to the back. But I don't like doing that. I like to just get the whole thing and send it back out. I mean, again, it's up to you. But as I said, now when you add another line, you hit enter and it just pops right up. You don't have to refresh, you don't have to see it blink, nothing. It doesn't look like much of a difference now. And the reason why it doesn't look like much of a difference now is because we have a very small amount of data here. It's really not sifting through anything. So even if I took that JavaScript asynchronous loading out, it wouldn't really, you've seen it. It just kind of, and it just goes like, if we go to third, you know, we can add another username, other me. It's another me. And we can say, and we'll take one of my PHP ones. And as you can see, it didn't look like it took that long. It just kind of blip. And if we delete one of these, it doesn't look like it's taking that long. But if, in comparison to this, if you were to compare, you'll see that it's almost instant. And that's the thing with people nowadays. They want everything to be instant, 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 instant. So if you're making a very large-scale website and you want to do something asynchronous, again, that's the way I would do it. That's how you can do it. You send it, but that's how it works. You create an XML HTTP request. You get what values you need. You send them in a background, like a backend, a PHP file, a Python file, a Ruby file, whatever. And you could do your checks here, whatever, and then you just kind of tell the JavaScript, oh, by the way, print this out in this manner, and then you get this. And that's that. I mean, again, that's the create and read at the same time. What I'm going to do next, or what we're going to do next, we're going to do the update. And we're going to style this thing. Excuse me. We're going to style this thing. I'm going to try and make it look like a grid, because this looks like absolute garbage. So I will be back in just a second.